Hi, good evening. Thank you for joining chapter 2 here of Culminating Subject Line, Culminating Experiences. Today, chapter 2 deals with the work of the Apothecary, and I'm going to reference two movies just a little bit. First one, recently, I think it was last summer, the sixth installment of Mission Impossible came out, Fallout, Tom Cruise. There's a part on there where the CIA guy was talking to his director in regards to the character Ethan Hunt, the IMF, and says, and I'll say it in my own words, how many times has the government betrayed him, turned their back on him? Has this happened or that happened? How many times, whatever he said. How long before a man like that turns? How long until, basically the idea is, how many times can your own government turn on you? People turn their back on you. People do this and that to you. How long before that just boils up inside of you and you just go crazy and you turn against those that you're fighting for and that you're loyal to? And that's really a powerful concept, because that's something I think we can all relate to. Is sometimes when we get in those feelings, like it's almost like someone's waiting for you to snap. Someone's waiting to see, okay, how long can you be pushed until you finally just lose it and fly off the handle or get stressed out or whatever. Or sometimes I think we do that to ourselves. It becomes like this thing. How many times can we be lied on? How many times can we be cheated on? How many times can we deal with fraud or lack of loyalty or lack of commitment? Or how many times can things go wrong? How many flat tires can you get in life before you just go crazy and snap? And that's really a powerful concept to kind of dive into. And going into another a movie example is Romeo and Juliet. When we say the work of the Apothecary, you might remember the term apothecary in the old Romeo and Juliet writing, and it's basically like today's pharmacist, a mixture of potion, a mixture of different ingredients to create a substance for someone to use for a certain purpose. And that line of work can be traced back even to a couple thousand-year-old human history. In the Jewish realm, in their religion, this was even before Christ, there was what was called a work of an apothecary. To them, the production that was made that was the most significant was what they referred to as basically anointing or incense or oil, basically a signification of blessing, God's presence, almost like a moment of choosing, if you will, a sign of approval, of blessing. And so what that apothecary would do would take ingredients of different elements of nature, if you will, and then create this, we'll just say incense, as something that would smell sweet. And the whole key was that these items were yielded. So it's one thing to collect ingredients, but what we want to spend special attention on is the nature of the ingredients and what to do with the ingredients, because that's the whole key element. So if our ultimate goal is to have our culminating experiences in life give us a sense of identity, give us a sense of mission, of purpose, of legacy for others, for those coming after us, which is something that many leaders aspire to, what are some steps in that process between A and B, or between A and Z, if you will? So when you talk about the work of the apothecary, his task was to gather all these elements from nature, if you will, and to yield this substance. So when you talk about the ingredients of what that was, there was a combination of both bitter herbs and sweet. bitter elements and sweet elements. One that's interesting to note was like this. I think it was like a sap of the tree. It's like where you break off the branch where the tier of the tree would come. The overall message here is, here's what it is. It took more bitter herbs than sweet to make this beautiful incense. So if you think about it, for this whole group of people, the most significant thing that their pharmacist could make, that they could offer up to the God that they esteemed as creator and savior, and brought significant blessing upon their lives. If you read the ingredient panel, it took more bitter herbs than sweet for that substance to be made. So what that tells us as leaders immediately is, oh, that's why I've gone through everything I've gone through. Give yourself some relief, some pat on the back. You've gone through bitter things. It's like the old saying, you're going to get better and better. Look, you've been dealt with bitter things. You've dealt with hardships. You've dealt with flat tires in life. You dealt with people mistreating you. You dealt with people who were loyal, turned their back on you. You dealt with people gossiping, talking behind your back. You dealt with people however they wanted to hate on you. Not believing in your work, your project, your mission, your vision, your dream. Come on, you've dealt with that. But look at the second thing that happens. It's not just the fact that here this guy is back in his laboratory mixing all these herbs together. The key is what they did with it. And it had to be offered. In the Jewish custom and belief, they would offer that up to God. So what that tells us is it's not just merely going through rough things in life or going out there and wanting to become a victim. The key is taking our life, the cards that we've been dealt with, the good and the bad, the beautiful and the ugly, the things that we kind of wish we could forget about, and the things that maybe we're still hoping for. And when you take the culmination of all these things, heartbreak, hopes, vision, dreams, fear, anxieties, anticipations, ambitions, you take all these different elements that we carry around on a daily basis, the key is an offering. And I want to encourage you that offering is not done in a stadium full of people. That offering is done very intimately, where a lot of people won't go. You're going to be offering those things up between you and your creator, in probably a closet, for let's say, some type of chamber of intimacy, of not so much secrecy, but you're not going to be on a pedestal getting a trophy while this is happening. It's going to be in those moments, those journeys of your life when you're not getting awarded on the stage. But it's in those key secret spots of our life when we offer up these ingredients. What begins to happen is this subject line of culminating experiences. So here's the beautiful thing, is if you come out of college, let's say you work a couple dead-end sales jobs for 2 years apiece, times 3 jobs, and all of a sudden you got 6-7 years of 3 or 4 different companies you were with, selling different products. Maybe you haven't made a lot of money, but you kind of made some ends meet, and you kind of build up your resume a little bit, got some experience. Now maybe you're in position to apply for a more robust salaried position, etc., more with a product line or service line that you enjoy as a young salesperson. Here's a beautiful thing, is if you can endure seasons of your life and let those experiences, it's not the fact that you had a dead-end job for 2 years. The beautiful thing is that you had 3 dead-end jobs, 2 years apiece, for 6 years. But now you're able to offer that up in a culminating experience on your resume, and suddenly you can market yourself as I have 6 years experience in outside sales, and here's the accomplishments, here's what I've learned, and you've made yourself into a marketable brand that people want to listen to, that people will invest and have trust in because you've been through the circuit. And then the really cool thing is, once you achieve, let's just say, I don't want to say plateau, but a foundation where you can maybe have a couple years worth, a couple months, a section of your life where you can look back and now you have enough experiences, good and bad, where you can allow a culminating experience to serve as a resume for you. The beautiful thing is, you know, there's this teaching we've all grown up with, especially those who play sports, who've been in performance-based jobs, that, you know, you never want to feel like you arrived. You never want to feel like you've obtained yet. And I get that philosophy. I teach that. I coach that. But I tend to do it a little bit more in reverse and take kind of a devil's advocate role with it, is that it's actually empowering to know that you've arrived, to have a sense of accomplishment, because identity is the key for empowerment. And if you can allow that arrival feeling to come, that, hey, I have gotten to this point, I have reached this level, if you will, and let that identity of your purpose and execution be fortified in that, and that personal experiences of highs and lows, what then you can do is go from what they call glory to glory, if you will, a sense of accomplishment. But now it's not like, hey, I'm never going to grow, I'm never going to expand, I'm never going to reach out, I'm not going to execute any more, I'm just going to, you know, not do anything the rest of my life. No, it's you build upon that foundation, and that's when you can start to experience increase. That's when you can start to experience growth. That's when you can start to experience your borders being spread out, your influence growing, the bank account of your influence in society start to grow and expand. So it doesn't become then a matter of, hey, am I good enough? Am I not good enough? You know, am I this? Am I not this? It's just now, hey, I'm going to keep growing, because then you've reached a point where you're not trying to prove yourself to anybody. You're just growing. You're developing. You're expanding. So this is going to get lengthy really, really quick. So let's tie up chapter 2 with this and just highlight these 3 points. Let's break it down. Number 1, you're going to have a lot of haters out there at times, or you're going to feel like that. Maybe you don't, but you might feel like that. Your own insecurities, you hating on your own self, the voices in the head that are against you. So you're going to have bitter experiences. So that's number 1. But number 2 is offering up all these experiences and letting that sense of identity that you made it through all those things fortify you. And then number 3 is allowing that culminating experience to build further culminating experiences. And that's when you're going to start to see your wealth and influence start to grow and expand and further develop capacities and reach beyond where you've been. And that's where you really start to create great legacy for others. So I'm excited about this subject line, culminating experiences. Here over the next little span of time, we'll be able to introduce chapter 3 of this series. So super excited about it. Stay tuned. Believe in you. And all those bitter herbs are for a reason. All right, keep on.